Hi, everyone. I'm Olga Villaverde. U.S. airstrikes in Iraq kill several top ISIS leaders. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Martin Dempsey, says 3 top military leaders were recently killed in Iraq. The strikes that killed the ISIS militants were designed to disrupt the terror group's ability to conduct its own attacks, supply its fighters, and pay for its operations. In other news, the White House has not yet offered a strong response in the wake of the Sony cyber attack, but the press secretary does say that the president stands with Sony Entertainment.
That the president and the administration stand squarely on the side of artists and other private citizens who seek to freely express their views.
Sony announced they are canceling the Christmas Day release of The Interview after the hacking group said it would launch 9/11-style terror attacks on theaters that show that movie. In Nigeria, gunmen suspected of having ties to Boko Haram kidnapped more than 180 people. At least 35 were killed during the attack, and most of the hostages are young women and children. The gunmen shouted, "God is great," as they burned down homes. A Nigerian government official says news of Sunday's kidnapping was delayed because militants destroyed communications towers in the area. Back in April, the terror group took some 300 girls captive. Russia's president is blaming the West, at least in part, for his country's current economic mess.
Конечно, сегодняшняя ситуация спровоцирована
During a news conference, Vladimir Putin said Western sanctions over Ukraine are responsible for about 30% of the problems with Russia's economy. He also vowed to fix the problems within 2 years, but didn't say how. Despite Putin's assurances today, the ruble continues to fall. And back in the U.S., the suspected Boston Marathon bomber was in court today for the first time in more than a year. Dzhokhar Zarnev is charged with killing 3 people and injuring hundreds more in the 2013 attack. His brother, also involved in this attack, died when the pair tried to escape from police. Today was the final pre-trial hearing before the start of an official trial next year. Federal prosecutors filed suit against New York City due to the treatment of inmates at the Rikers Island jail. An earlier Justice Department investigation found a, quote, culture of violence against young inmates. The lawsuit filed today will address those concerns. This comes one day after New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced the end of solitary confinement for teenage inmates. And tragedy outside a church in California. Police say a driver slammed into a crowd of people as they were leaving an elementary school Christmas pageant in that area.
The driver, who has been identified as causing this collision, was detained at the scene immediately following the collision, and after being evaluated, has been arrested for felony vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated.
3 people, by the way, were dead. And that's your Newsmax Now update. We'll have more in 30 minutes. We'll see you then.